What is up, everybody, and welcome to the first ever Dudes Who Bet Sports.
So you wanna bet sports, but you need some advice on how to cash in big at a heck of a price. Well, if you want enough money to line your shorts, then you're in the right place. This is Dudes Who Bet Sports. Dudes Who Bet Sports, it's your favorite show. Dudes Who Bet Sports, where degenerates go. Dudes Who Bet Sports, time to change your approach with Aaron Halterman and his father, the coach. Let's ride.
Well, the Associated Press is full of shit.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dudes Who Bet Sports show on a hectic, and I mean a hectic Monday. I thought I'd just have a nice, quiet little Monday. Then all of a sudden, Kentucky Derby news comes out. Juwan Howard's punching guys. I mean, it's been a wild last couple of days.
It has. Yes, I think this is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah,
tonight.
I mean,
we got a lot to talk about, you know.
Usually on these shows, we kind of run down the scores and see how did this person play? How did this team play? Maybe not so much. We're going to talk about controversies, basically, I think, the whole time during this show. It's definitely a very wild situation, is how we will call it. And right as we went on the air, Magic sent us a message that says, it's great timing. ESPN just alerted me that Juwan Howard was suspended for the rest of the regular season. I had not seen that. Let's jump into Juwan Howard since that happened.
We might as well hit him first and go over that thing first, and then
hit him. No pun intended. Right?
I know. When I said that, I thought I shouldn't have said that, but we should start there, I think, and then. I think we need to cover a little bit of the horse racing, even though this is
very much
a horse racing show.
Yep.
Because it's sports, and there's so. I mean, you're going to have to guide us through that because you're the expert, and you know more about this. And I've got some. I know most of the people that listen to us are horse people. You know, they're into the horse racing, but. You know, all through that, I had some questions that people were asking me about it. So if I can remember some of them, I'll go over them. But anyway, I think my take is going to be a little different than what most people are going to think on this, because I've got some problems with the Wisconsin coach.
Okay.
I have. And having been a coach and having been in the shoes that Juwan Howard was in, and I can't defend him either, but that was pretty much a bullshit move, calling timeout with 15 seconds left.
Mm-hmm.
That's rubbing salt in the wounds. And so I don't know whether maybe these guys had some trouble between each other before. I don't know, but this has happened before to me. And I know this is big time college basketball and you just take it for what it's worth. But him explaining with 15 seconds left that he had some subs on the floor and he didn't want them to not. What difference did it make if they got the ball up the floor?
Mm-hmm.
Zero. Absolutely zero. And if you'll watch when they're going through the handshake line, which I've always thought was a little weird anyway. They didn't used to do that. Used to do that when I played. Game was over. You got your crap and you went to the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You didn't say anything to the other team. But anyway, if you'll notice, if you'll go back and watch that, and correct me if I'm wrong, people, I saw Juwan Howard snub the Wisconsin coach. In other words, he was going to walk right by him. And the Wisconsin coach grabbed him. I don't think you grabbed Juwan Howard.
Right.
It doesn't seem like the kind of person you would grab to me, especially when he's angry.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wonder if he'd have just let him walk on, would that have been the end of it? I don't know. But he grabbed him and he confronted him, and then it started.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, to me, the Wisconsin coach knew he had done something wrong. And he had to explain it to Juwan Howard. Now, the whole bad part about it is, though, the reason this looks so bad is he threw, I wouldn't call that a punch. You know, that was more like just a kind of a swat on the head, you know. Maybe he couldn't get to him.
Yeah.
maybe. I don't know. But the other interesting thing, and I tweeted this today, and I got some reactions, is why isn't anybody talking about the assistant coach? Because that's who he hit.
Right.
He didn't hit the head coach. So what did the assistant coach say to tick him off? And having been in that situation, I'll tell you a little story here in a little while. But when we get through this a little bit, that happened to me once as an assistant. I think the assistant coach might have said something like, "Hey, why don't you go on? Why don't you shut up? Why don't you leave us alone?" Something like that. I don't know, but there's a lot of stuff to this, isn't there? There's more to this, and I think that the Wisconsin coach deserves a suspension of some kind too, because I think he instigated it a little bit. I really do.
Magic says Wisconsin coach laid hands on Howard first, and it seems like the assistant said something inflammatory to draw the punch attempt.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot to unpack here. Okay.
There is, sure.
First of all, your tweet this morning, somebody said, let's be thankful nobody was seriously injured.
That's true.
Okay, but people are acting like he Mike Tyson'd the guy. Like,
he barely hit him.
This was one of the worst punches in the history of punches.
Yeah.
I mean, people are making so much out of this.
Aaron, it wasn't a punch.
No.
It
looked like he tried to grab his head.
He kind of just pushed him off, I thought.
Yes. Now, listen, you can't do that.
No,
okay?
absolutely not.
But people are making it like it was a serious life and death situation, which is just absurd. Like,
it was.
He incited more than anything. It wasn't the punch. It was the kind of the riot between the two teams. So it was broken up.
Oh,
It wasn't that big a deal. Okay.
Yeah.
If Michigan was 22-4, there's no way Juwan Howard would be suspended. When you're struggling and you're the head coach of a program that's struggling, you can't do stuff like this. They're waiting for things to fire you. And so that's a big part of it.
He's got a little bit of a history too.
Yeah.
He's caused a little bit of a problem. I got an opinion on this too, but Juwan Howard's not a trained coach.
No.
He's not a trained coach. He's a former player, and they act a little different. They really do.
Yeah.
Now, if I walk through there and I'm mad or what, because they called that timeout, and it goes against the code of coaching. But here's another thing that goes against the code of coaching that Michigan was doing. This was the last possession of the game. There was a 15-point lead. Michigan's pressing all over the floor. Why?
Yeah.
Why were they doing that? The whole thing was just ugly. Went against all coaching principles. It really did.
The bottom line is he's pissed because they got their ass kicked.
Absolutely.
And that is the thing that nobody's really I've seen talk about. It's like he was just mad. He's saw mad. This, OU got mad at Baylor for kicking a calling a timeout and kicking a field goal.
Yeah.
Come on. This is not like intramurals that you're not helpless out there.
No, and this isn't right. And this isn't junior high.
No.
This is high level sports, and if the other team kicks your ass, you better be able to take it.
Exactly.
You got to take the butt kicking. And I'll tell you another thing: if he's 22-4 and he loses that game, he's not near as upset as he is at 14-11 either.
No. This is a microcosm of what has happened to their season. They've been so up and down. Look, he has to listen. This day and time, he has to be suspended. There's no other way around it. That you can't do that. You just can't. And he has to be suspended. I get it, but at the same time, there's been a big deal made about this, and it's really not that big of a deal.
I don't think so either.
The Wisconsin coach, I think he instigated it. I think there's been times where coaches don't shake hands and it doesn't end like that. You just kind of walk off and forget about it.
Yep.
I don't know. I thought it was just
him.
Like, honestly, when I first saw it on Twitter, I thought, that's funny. And I didn't think anything of it. And I get back on like 2 hours later and like the people are going insane about this. It's like, it's not that big a deal.
It was a slow sports day yesterday.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it. But to me, having kind of been in a situation similar to that, the Wisconsin coach, to me, felt guilty, or he wouldn't have tried to explain it to him in that situation.
Yeah.
And I think he realized, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have called timeout. Because what's the difference? What's the difference if you get beat 77-63 or 77-65 or you win 77-63? What's the big deal?
Right.
And Chris makes a good point here. It was caught on camera. Live. Yeah. And I also think it's because Juwan Howard had been involved in some incidents. Let's call them incidents. Mm-hmm. I think this was the fourth one. I believe some sort of a confrontation of some type. I think that's another reason too.
Yeah,
I think. I don't know.
This is the point. Magic said, "Malice at the Palace." This was not. If you remember, that's when Ron Artest, Meta World Peace, was up in the stands trying to fight guys. This wasn't anything like that. And if people were comparing the two, get a life. Like, you're out of your mind. It wasn't even close. That was a dangerous situation. They made a documentary about that. That's something that will never be forgotten.
No. This
was not.
That's a punch.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
That is a get away from me, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it's
shut your mouth. I don't want to hear your shit. That's
what it was. It was two guys that were upset at each other, and one guy was stupid and took it too far. If he walks off the floor, even if they get separated and they're mouthing and he walks off, it's nothing. He took it too far. He did a stupid thing.
It did.
But the people going nuts over it are crazy. I think the punishment's right. Listen, suspend for the rest of the season. Okay, 4 or 5 games. It's not a big deal. Yeah. Probably right. And then Michigan can do with him what they want at the
It'll be interesting to see how they react down the road. Michigan. Mm-hmm. He is a hero in Michigan. He was part of the Fab Five. That won a national championship there. Yeah. Having not really gotten into college basketball the last couple of years, I think Michigan's been pretty good. And then they make a pretty good run under him a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's won enough games. They've been a major disappointment this year. They thought they were going to be pretty good, and they've got talent, and they'll play well one night and suck it up the next, or stink it up the next. And so, it's going to just depend on how he is. Is he a problem to the administration? Sometimes you hire guys like that have this big reputation, and they think they can do whatever they want. Mm-hmm. They think they're untouchable. So it'll be interesting to see what happens down the road.
You kind of made a point of these former players that are now coaches, they handle things a little bit differently when it comes to that, right? Mm-hmm. And he did kind of handle it like a player would have handled it instead of a coach. I think that's a really good point. Right. I mean, I just think that, that's what a player does. If another player comes up and is mouthing and maybe grabs his jersey, well, he's going to grab you and try to hit you,
Well, we're trained. We go to college and get trained to be a coach for a reason. I mean, they teach you this kind of stuff, and I think you tend to control yourself a little better if you've been through it. The incident that happened to me a couple of years ago is a good example of this. We were playing a team. I've had a bunch of hotheads, and they had a coach that wasn't a coach. He was not a coach. He wasn't a teacher. Okay. Mm-hmm. They just hired him to coach. And his team was totally out of control. Totally. And they had a couple of hard fouls on our kids. Almost hurt one of our best players, slammed him into the net, the mat underneath the basket. And then a fight broke out in the stands. Started by parents, yes, parents, attacking our student body, and I'm sure one of our little loudmouths was mouthing, but these are adults heading off after students.
Right.
And a brawl took place. And what instigated it was the attitude of the the opposing team's players had they not did this. The kids, two different players were involved in this. They both got technical fouls, and he never took the coach never took them out. Never took them out of the game. Now, most coaches, if you have a flagrant foul and you slam somebody into the mat, you take the kid out.
Yeah, right.
So when the brawl took place, there was about a minute and a half to go, and we were up by about 14. And anyway, the players they handled it beautifully. You know, our kids didn't go after their kids. Theirs didn't go after ours. The players, it was okay. And then finally, one of the kids that instigated it on the floor fouled out. And that coach hugged him, you know, like he had done nothing wrong. So after the game, we're going through the handshake, and I was ahead of our head coach, and I swear to God, this is true. I reached out and I missed his hand. I just missed. I wasn't going to say a word to him.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where you're kind of, I don't know, maybe I did it intentionally, unintentionally, intentionally. I don't know, but I missed it. Now, I didn't stop. I just kept on going. Okay. So Andy, the other coach, Andy's behind me, and he starts whining to Andy. And he says, "What in the hell is the problem with your assistant coach?" And Andy handled it beautifully and said, "Hey, he doesn't have to shake your hand if he doesn't want to."
Yeah.
And I waited till I got to their assistant, who I knew real well.
Yeah.
And I said, "You're going to have to get him under control," because I said, this is because he had coached for years and I knew him.
Yeah.
And I said, "Brandon, you're going to have to get him under control." And he goes, "Oh, I know." And he goes, this has got to stop." But that was the end of it, you know. So it could have happened there too. Yeah. And he'd have killed me. There's no doubt about it. He could have got about that. But anyway. Well, this kind of stuff happens, you know.
Well, what I think is funny about the whole thing, with two things I've just been dying laughing. People want you got to be intense. You got to get Pete. You got to go out there and act like you want to kill each other. And then when something like this happens, they go, "Whoa, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you people? Why are you so intense?
Yeah.
It's just a game."
Yeah.
I saw some of that and I'm like,
yeah,
so you want to kill him until, and then it's, I mean,
it's
so it's
game.
Like, this is sports. It happens. Now, listen, if he would have decked the guy and knocked him out, it's different. Okay?
That is totally different.
It's totally different.
He did not slug him.
No.
He pushed him off. "Get out of here, dude. I don't want to hear your shit." That's what he did.
Yeah, and it's just like, I mean, come on, you know. I mean, this is sports. This happens. I mean, and again, if you sucker punch a guy, if the guy grabs him and he grabs him and throws it on the floor,
oh yeah,
he's done for good. But
okay, let's. How much is this involved too? Juwan Howard is a big man.
Yeah, and that guy's a little short, shrimp.
Everybody's going to look short up to
right.
Juwan Howard. I'd say he's about 6'7", probably. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
How much does that have to do with it too?
Yeah, I think it has a lot.
Didn't look good, did it?
No, it didn't. It didn't. But anyway, the punishment's probably right. Suspending for the rest of the season, so people shut up, and then it'll probably all be over after that. I mean, I don't think this is a offense where he should never coach again or anything like that. I mean, that's craziness. But that's the world we live in. People overreact, and I think it's just because it's on, like, anywhere you could go to Facebook, it's on. You go to Twitter, it's on. You turn on the television, it's on. It's just like, fuck, I don't care anymore about this. Like, it wasn't that big of a deal.
Right. And here today, it's Monday. By Wednesday, they'll be over.
Oh, well, yeah.
Maybe tomorrow.
Well, I saw somebody say, "Oh, what a poor representation, or what a poor example for those players." Like,
oh my God,
good Lord, they probably like, "Wow, he stuck up for us." You know, I mean,
they're probably.
I know those players aren't in the locker room going, "Well, now I can go around and punch everybody because they're."
Yeah.
I mean, that's not how that works, people. So, I mean, give me a break.
No.
Anyway, okay, that's that. I don't. Oh, the other thing.
Yes.
Okay. Explain to me why the coach still has a mask on. Can you explain that to me? None of the players have them on.
don't know.
It's all for a freaking show. And then if we're so worried about COVID, why are we all shaking hands again?
Now, Aaron, you're getting into something now.
And then now when we're getting ready to scream at each other and really get anybody ever in our
Off comes
face,
the mask.
then the mask goes off so we can scream and really spit and yell in your face. Listen, I just had COVID, right? It's not like I don't take COVID seriously, but this is ridiculous. Is this just for a show now? Is that what we're doing? Oh, we're going to make them wear masks for show. There's nobody else on the whole floor and anybody in the gym. Nobody has a mask on but these two guys.
It had to be his choice to have that mask on because no one else had it. You know, he just
like, what do you think you're doing? I mean, I don't know.
I don't either. I don't either. You know,
I don't know.
Having spent Mama Dude's home, she's done fine. But having spent 3 days in the hospital, I'm taking COVID pretty serious too. I tell you what.
I mean, it's not, and I'm not saying you should never wear a mask anymore.
No, I know.
If you've got 50, players and coaches and staff, and none of them have it on. I mean, what the hell? What are you doing? I mean, it's just, and then you got 10,000 people in there and nobody in the arena. I guarantee you, maybe 5 or 10 people have it on. It's just nuts. It's nuts.
Yeah.
I just couldn't.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up because I noticed it too. And I'm thinking, what is he doing?
And then you take it off when you're getting ready to yell at somebody. And
I guess they can't. I guess you think they can't hear you.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's like that was the thing that's just like, this is crazy. This is not.
I have to tell you, when you go in the hospital now, you got to have a mask. You can't go anywhere with a mask. Yeah. And I was. So I had a mask. I don't mind I'm not one of those people. I don't mind wearing a mask.
And when they tell you to put it on, I put it on. Yeah.
Sure, I don't have a problem with it. But every time somebody would want to talk to me, I found myself pulling it down because I didn't know where they could hear me through the mask. I found myself doing that. But anyway.
And again, this isn't a mask, not mask debate. This is a
no.
What the hell is he doing with one on when there's 20,000 people around and nobody has? There's not that many, but I mean, it just seemed like that's pretty worthless.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. But anyway, let's move on from Juwan Howard's dumbass with one of the worst punches in the history of punches.
It was bad.
And let's move on to, let's see. That was the bad. Is this the ugly? This is a sports show, but we have to have a little bit of talk about Bob Baffert and the Kentucky Derby. We have a Kentucky Derby winner today. Yes, that's right. February 21st, 2022. The 2021 Kentucky Derby was won. Mandaloun wins the Kentucky Derby today. Medina Spirit officially disqualified from the race. All purse money has going to be redistributed. And Mandaloun the winner. And then a 90-day suspension and a $7,500 fine for Bob Baffert. So finally, we get some news. It was weird, though, because it's like, Medina Spirit has passed away, and it's just it's almost like, that's now he gets this taken away. Not that he would care, but I know, but then the other word as well, Baffert got what he deserved, maybe. I don't know. I didn't know how to feel about this. What are your thoughts? Did you think they would ever do it?
I don't know, but we do have a new trivia question. Who is the only Kentucky Derby winner not to win the first Saturday in May?
Country House. Oh, no. Yes. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
I guess my question is, more than anything, is why did it take so long to do this?
Yeah.
I mean, they had the evidence the day after the Derby. I mean, what changed between now and February the 21st of 2022? 2022. That's the part I couldn't understand. Why?
Well, that's the thing. And we've been doing it for 10 years, like I said on a show earlier, and we have been lucky enough, I should say, to meet some people within the major, industry of sports media. And we've been able, so we went on 4 or 5 different shows once this happened on the national level. And they would all kind of say, well, when, a couple days, we're going to know the outcome of this. I said, if we know before next year's Kentucky Derby,
You did. I
this
heard
year's
you say
Kentucky Derby winner is, it'll be really surprising. And that's the thing. Like, nobody could get, there's like, what are you talking about?
I know.
And I said, well, this can be a long fight, and who knows what's going to happen. Well, as it turns out, we did get to know before this year's running, just a couple months before. So,
yeah.
Listen, you could go about it all kinds of different ways. The biggest thing here, like, I don't care what the excuse is, you didn't test clean. And when you don't test clean, you get suspended and you lose the race and you get disqualified.
And here's the deal, Aaron. I've heard a lot of people who support him somewhat say, well, it wasn't very much. It doesn't matter what the quantity was. It's a banned substance, right? Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter. Yeah. It makes no difference. And maybe he didn't have anything to do with it. I don't know. I'm sure he doesn't sit in there and rub down horses, and trim them and all that stuff.
See, I think he doesn't do shit, to be honest. I think
probably not.
Now, I'm not naive and said, oh, he had no idea what's happening in his barn, but he probably didn't know exactly why the horse.
No, I think I believe that. I think I could. I don't have much trouble believing that. Mm-hmm. Usually when you're that big, you got a lot of assistance.
Yep.
And the bigger you get, the further away from the everyday duties you become. Mm-hmm. That's just the way it is in anything, really.
Well, and his biggest problem, though, is he's this is not the first positive. He's so many of them that it's just something.
That's the thing. It's happened too many times. And go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say Bree brings up. That's hard to say. Bree brings up a good point. Maybe we should pre-test horses prior to big races. I don't know why we've never done that.
I don't either.
That makes sense. And then if they fail it, they don't run. And then the bettors don't get screwed because, again, okay, he got disqualified officially. If you bet on Mandaloon, you didn't get your money today, and you never will. So,
yeah, Aaron, explain that, because I've had so many people, and I know at least a lot of you guys here that are on the chat with us understand this, but some of you may not. One of the first questions I was asked over and over is, what happens to purse money? What's the deal on that? Do you have to give the money back? Explain how that all went down after the race.
As far as the like your winner share of the purse? Yeah. So that's all redistributed. So basically there's a hold on it where it's not sent out. And now that it's over, they'll send it out as far as that goes.
So,
now, go ahead.
Okay. When the race was over, the purse didn't go to anybody, right?
No, it's held until everybody passes the test, and then it's sent out.
Okay. So the purse money was never given to anybody, right?
Yeah.
Because, so now the purse money will go to the owner and the trainer and the jockey of Mandolin, correct?
Correct.
But the bettors are screwed.
Yeah. So
they get nothing.
That was another common question as far as the national media not knowing exactly what happened. And that was the question that would always pop up. So what about the bettors? When can they expect to get reimbursed? And as a guy that's followed this, it was hard not to just laugh. And I said, guys, the bettors are screwed. It doesn't matter if they disqualify them tomorrow, 6 days from now, 6 years from now, you're screwed.
Yeah.
And that's so often, pretty much always, the bettors get the short end of the stick in this game. I mean, don't even get me started on what happened yesterday at Santa Anita. I mean, that was just a crime, what happened at Santa Anita yesterday. It was a crime what happened at the Breeders' Cup this year. And then, you got things like this. And, the thing about it is this is highly publicized because it's the Kentucky Derby. But I think what a lot of people don't realize is this happens a lot in day-to-day racing, and you may never even hear that it happened, so.
Yeah. I'm wondering, I think Jason's saying down here that he didn't think Baffert was fined enough.
Yeah, I agree.
I do too. Add another 0 at least to that, because okay, I've said this many, many, many times, 2 or 3 times on this show. I don't know why a guy whose legacy is already made. It's already made. If he never won another race in his life, he's a Hall of Fame, maybe the best player of all time.
Yeah.
And why do you have to cheat?
Well,
why do you even think about cheating? I just don't get that.
I've thought that a lot. I've talked to people about it. I said, and their answers are usually the same. So when you got an ego like his, you think you're above, and you get away with it. You just think you're above the law, and you don't think you're going to get caught. Because it's kind of like a logic from a person like you and I. It's like, okay, let's say we're cheating, and then we won the Triple Crown
twice.
There's nothing else to do. Just ride off in the sunset. Keep your nose clean, and you're going to be the greatest trainer who ever lived if you do that.
That would have been his legacy.
Yes.
And nobody could have argued with that very much.
And the worst thing about it for me, and this is just me personally, everybody has their worst thing. I mean, well, let's be clear. The horses that he's killed, that's the worst thing.
That's the worst.
That's the worst by far. So let me put that out there first. I don't want to take anything away from that. That's awful. And research it. It's bad. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that, but we had waited 37 years for a Triple Crown.
Absolutely.
American Pharoah wins a Triple Crown. It is the most special thing that's happened in racing since I started following, right? I mean, it was an unbelievable moment. Everybody in the country was excited about it. We transcended just our horse racing community. We were nationwide.
It was.
We have no evidence one way or the other what was in that horse's body, American Pharoah. He may have been, I know it's wishful thinking at this point, he may have been clean, but it doesn't matter if he was or not. It'll always be tainted. And Justifies will be worse because he tested positive for a substance in the Santa Anita Derby, and if he would have been disqualified that day, he wouldn't even ran in the Kentucky Derby because he wouldn't have been qualified for the race. So his is tainted, and we have evidence that it's tainted, and then American Pharoah's will always be too.
Do you think, I've heard this mentioned, correct me again, because I'm talking to the choir here. You're the expert. Okay. Now, each state that has horse racing in their state, they control their tracks, correct?
Yes, each state has its own set of rules, procedures, governing body, if you will. Yeah.
All right. So, for example, Baffert can run in Arkansas, right? Don't we need a national commission that controls the whole damn thing?
Yeah, we absolutely do. And if you're listening to this and you're a horse racing guy, you're like, yes. And if you're not, I'll explain how it works. We have some people that just like sports that are listening right now. Pretend that each division within the NFL, not conference, just division, like pretend the NFC West played by a different set of rules than the NFC East.
Exactly.
And they played by a different set of rules of the AFC West. On and on and on. They all had their separate things. Or even to a greater degree, pretend every single team had their own set of rules, guidelines, principles, whatever. Where it's almost like saying, say the Kansas City Chiefs suspend Patrick Mahomes. But the suspension only counts in Missouri. So when they went on the road, he could play.
Right.
That's racing in a nutshell. Think about the outrage if that happened in the NFL. If a player got banned in a state but could go to other states and play. I mean, so that's why sports people, when they hear this shit, they go, well,
they don't understand it.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
They think the rules are equal at every track. That's what they think.
Now, with this official suspension that happened today, this 90-day suspension handed down by the stewards of Kentucky.
But it's in Kentucky.
But usually, and I use that word strongly, usually in these situations, other racing jurisdictions will honor that suspension because it's been sent down by the stewards today. So, as of now, Maryland has come out and said, Bob Baffert, we will uphold the suspension, and Bob Baffert will not be allowed to run horses at the Preakness.
He can't run at Belmont.
So Doug O'Neill got suspended in California. He shipped Hot Rod Charlie last year to the Louisiana Derby. Louisiana, I thought, well, hell, he'll be able to run. Louisiana had said, no, we will uphold this. And the assistant had to run the horse. But two things. One, who knows if right here, you really think California will follow that rule? No, I don't. They let him get away with it. So that's number one. That's where he races. Will they do it? I doubt it. Number two, he can appeal and immediately it goes away. And then there's a long appeal process. That's what's going to happen. So that's the next saga in this never-ending cycle for Baffert.
But the bottom line is, as I understand it, because Kentucky has ruled this, he can't appeal that and then run his horses, can he?
No, the Derby is still its own thing.
Okay.
And no, he can't appeal and all of a sudden be eligible. No, that's not gonna happen.
Well, it seems to me like, and again, this will never happen, because if I was rich enough to have horses as good as he has, give them to somebody else, and that'll be the end of it.
I mean, that's what we all thought would happen, and it hasn't happened.
I know, because we got a lot of just a lot of bad people out there. And
so what happened was, let's see. Probably, I don't know the account, but there's like 5, 6, 7 horses. One, when it came out last year, they moved. And
right.
One of them was Life is Good. Well, come to find out, they moved Life is Good because they wanted to run him in New York, and Baffert wasn't, able to train in New York at that time. He later was able to. So he got moved, and then some other ones, they were just like crummy horses. They sent to Rudolph Brissett, and they didn't do anything, but they probably wouldn't have done anything with Baffert anyway.
Right.
But the kicker was, okay, 2-year-olds are coming up. They're starting to ship out from the farm to the barns, getting ready for the Derby. And I think the assumption was, well, Baffert's crop's going to be pretty weak. Mm-hmm. It's as strong as it ever is.
He still got them.
He has dozens. And it's
Let's see what these idiots don't get. It's just like the owners of Medina Spirit. The horse is dead. It's of no value because we don't know for sure, but it's safe to maybe assume that the drugs killed it. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. It doesn't happen very often. A horse like that dies. Mm-hmm. So you got this prized possession that you may have paid $750,000 for, and you give it to this guy. How smart is that? When you got Todd Pletcher, you got a lot of guys that can go out there and win.
That's the thing. These guys that have the majority of the horses right now for him are tied in with these other big time guys too.
I don't get it.
Like, you don't think Todd Pletcher can train a racehorse? Like,
I kind of think he can.
And just for a year, maybe just take a year off from him. You can go right back to him if you love him so much. But
I think a lot of guys can train racehorses.
Well, I tell you what, I think you and I could train a horse like Life is Good, who he had.
Well, I don't know about that, but
Eric Guillot, who is no longer training, but he made a comment. People were talking about, maybe Pletcher's, doing something too. Life is Good, still running very well. And he chimed in. He said, when you got a good horse, you could train anybody to train the horse. It doesn't matter. Like you just got to spin them around the track a few times, and they're ready.
But I think Brad Cox could train a horse.
Yeah,
I think Chad Brown can train a horse. Yeah. I can go on and on and on. There's a lot of guys.
Steve Asmussen,
he's not too bad.
No, I mean,
he's not too bad. He's pretty good.
Yeah. And if you want to go to California, John Sadler wins big races.
Yeah, he's not too
bad. Wins big races. I mean,
they're pretty good.
But they're showing support for their guy, and I guess I give them credit for sticking by him. I mean, it does take some guts.
Yeah. Dennis asked a question a while ago when we were talking about a commission, a national.
Oh, yeah. Who do you appoint? Yeah.
You got it. Okay. Here's what you would have to do. You'd have to get horse racing people within the industry that know what the hell is going on. And too bad he's getting a little bit too old, but the D. Wayne Lucas would have been a fantastic commissioner.
I don't know.
You don't think so? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Well, he needed to be on a committee of some kind.
Maybe a committee. I don't think he needs to be in charge.
Yeah, he's too outspoken. But you gotta get horse racing people. You can't get people that are like chairman of the board of some companies. Those kind of clowns. and I don't think it'll ever happen because I don't know whether these states want to give up their, control over these tracks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Bill Mott, Sylvian says, I think that's more level-headed, calm individual.
Well, you need somebody that's been around,
No, you do. But, Dennis, I've often been asked that question, and it is a very good question. My reply is always, if we can find one person to oversee and operate the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, surely to God, somebody can oversee and operate this. I understand there's different, it's different. I understand that, but it's still one person in charge of a huge operation and millions of dollars. You just got to get somebody that knows what they're doing.
And the other thing is too, and you've said this, each track tests and reads the tests of the horses different than the other tracks do.
And that is a huge problem for people who are not cheaters, by the way. Some medications are legal at some states and some are not. And that's a problem for everybody.
It is.
Yeah. That may not be the issue with this certain topic that we're talking about, but it is an issue around horse racing. I know a lot of guys that are clean as a whistle, and they tell me, it's crazy, like the things we have to do. It's like studying a freaking a car manual, how a car operates. It's crazy. So,
it just doesn't make sense to me why he would even. I mean, they're going to look at his horses now every time, right?
Yeah,
because of his reputation.
Well, and outside of California,
and I would think the hardest part about training horses is clients. You gotta have clients. He has the best clients there are, and he gets the best horses. So why would you want to? You're going to win the majority of the time anyway, whether you cheat or not.
That's the thing. Life is good. I mean, he was going to be good no matter what. And that's the other problem with this, and he deserves it. He's always going to get, that speculation now. And it's like, all his horses from now on might be clean, but he'll never outlive it. So, and again, if it was one positive in the Kentucky Derby and that's the only thing on his record, I would feel terrible for him. I would, because mistakes can't happen. But when they happen over and over and over and over and over again, it's not a mistake.
Well, if that was the first time, maybe nothing would have. It wouldn't be near what this is. It
Probably. They would have done what D. Wayne suggested they do and just flush it down the toilet. Which is why he shouldn't be commissioner.
No, he's out there, but
Okay, let's comments here. We got a ton of them. Jason says it's not like each team is their own, but like say New Jersey had the Giants and the Jets, and Florida controlled the Bucks and the Dolphins and the Jets. Yeah, exactly. That's how it is.
And in college, SEC did what they wanted to do, and the Big 12 did what they wanted to do, and the Big 10 did what they wanted to do.
So it is kind of like college. That's kind of what happens anyway.
No, it doesn't. There's some
Whalen says, is that Olympic Russian ice skater trained by Baffert too? Let's see. Are other trainers using juice too? Is the sky blue? See, look, that's a nice rhyme. Yes. That's the thing. Diodoro's worse. Yeah. Baffert just take a break for a while, give Lucas the barn for a while. Well, Lucas or somebody. Yeah, exactly. I would have a ton of respect for Baffert if he just took 90 days and said, you know what? Forget it. Here it is. Y'all have it for 90 days. I'll be back.
I'd have a ton of respect if he just say, screw you guys, I'm done.
Well, I don't know that if he said, screw you guys, I'd have respect for him, but yeah. Sylvie says, Baffert is so bad for the game right now. Yeah, because this is what happens. It tears you apart. Twitter's just been a nightmare all day. You already said Bill Mott would be a good commissioner, and I agree. Nice level-headed guy there. Let's see. Really wonder if they had to couple the entries, if they would move to different trainers. Maybe. I don't really know what that means. Let's see. Conolina Rice seems to be the committee. Just appoint Andy Serling. No, I don't.
No.
You hate Andy Serling, right?
I do, with a passion.
What? Now explain to the people why you hate Andy Serling. Papa Dude's very popular. He may become the most popular person if for hating Andy Serling. Why do you hate him?
I don't like when he misses a race, it's the jockey's fault. He got a shitty ride. He didn't say that. He got a horrible. I just tired of him. I don't like him.
Yeah,
I don't. I mean, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't like a guy that picks some long shot, which he does a lot, and then they don't come in. Well, I had that jockey just had a horrible ride. No, you picked a 10-1 horse and he didn't win. Okay. I don't care for him. I know that everybody says he's a great guy. He probably is. I don't like guys that pick 10, 12-1 horses and then they don't win and he blames everybody but himself.
I mean, he's never been nice to me, so I can't say that he's a great guy. I'm sure I don't know. I've seen him out in Saratoga.
Some people say he is.
He did say hi to me the last time I saw him. So
I don't care for him. So
I don't. It's just whatever.
Hard for me. I just don't. Okay. I don't know what he's like away from the track.
Mm-hmm.
He might be fine, but I don't. Let me rephrase it. I don't like the way he analyzes a race. That's what I don't like.
Well, his job is race analyst, so
right. He may be a good person. That's what I'm saying.
Right. You're a big Tom Amos fan on that show, aren't you? Didn't you like Tom Amos?
I think Tom Amos is honest on that show. I don't know about horse training, but no, I do like him. I do. I like him. I like everybody on there but Andy, to be honest. And like I say, he may be a heck of a guy. I just don't like him making excuses when he misses races.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like.
I know. Agriculture Canada tests every race in Canada, small and big tracks. Sylvian says that was supposed to happen here with the FDA, and I don't think it happened. I think something screwed up.
Well, Canada does a lot of things better than we do.
Let's see. The coach says simple solution: don't bet races where Bob Baffert is entered in. I haven't bet any races in which he runs. That's not a bad idea.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
It's not going to change anything, but it's a good way to say, hey, me personally, that's my stance. And I like that. Yeah. I like that.
A lot of people don't like Andy on here.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting to him here.
Okay.
Medicaid different in every state, like LASIX. Yeah. CDI could care less if Baffert runs in the Derby. Yeah. The Derby's the Derby. They don't need him for that race.
That's true.
He's going to Dubai to train for the Saudis.
Aaron, another thing about Baffert that I've always liked, anytime they interview him, he seems like a pretty good guy. Don't you think?
He's always been very friendly to us. We haven't had direct contact with him, but friendly to the media and stuff like that. And I think that's why people have kind of stuck up for him until it happened in the Derby where they couldn't stick up for him.
Yeah.
I should say. Yeah. Sylvian asks, why is Linda Rice still not suspended in New York? Because she appealed that suspension, and how many months ago was that? And we still don't have an answer. And so that is another problem. If she loses her appeal, she'll be gone. But for right now, she appealed and she's good to go. Andy dead rail Serling. That's right. He always talks about the dead rail at Aqueduct. Let's see. I have an Andy Serling story I'll tell you guys, but hold on here. Do we have an over-under for the number of suspensions Cody Baffert receives once he is a trainer? Andy couldn't pick a winner from the results board. James says.
I like that one, James.
I don't know if that's true, but I don't like the way he talks to people who disagree with him, then pounce when your horse beats his.
Aha.
Yes.
That's what I was trying to say. That was part of that's another.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up because he does do that.
Yes. Yeah. Let's see. Can Baffert run in Keeneland? No. He cannot. Let's see. Let's see if there's anything else here. Yeah, it's been 6 months, I think, since you're talking about the Linda Rice thing. Since Linda Rice was suspended for, I don't remember how long, indefinitely, I think. And 6 months after suspension, and she entered like 5 today. So
wow.
Yeah, there you go.
Philip said Andy had 3 winners today.
3 winners out of 8 races. That's very good.
That's pretty good.
I don't think he's as bad as people think. I think he rubs people the wrong way, and then when he has a bad day, people just pile on.
Well, you got to remember, I don't watch him every day like you do.
Well,
I don't.
So this right here, okay? Here's my Andy Sterling story. This is a
All
true
right, this
story.
is good.
It was 2015, and Andy and us were not friends, but we had interacted back and forth on Twitter some, right? So it's the 2015 Travers when American Pharoah went up to run in the Travers.
Okay.
Andy had picked against American Pharoah every race this year leading up to the Travers. He picked against him every time. Every time. Get to the Travers, Andy Sterling picked him. It was on his pre-show. It was a big thing. He picked him. We're talking to him.
Uh-huh.
So I joked, and I like I said, I had sent Twitter messages back and forth between me and Andy for a couple of years. I sent a message on Twitter, and I said, "Oh no, kiss of death. Andy finally picks American Pharoah. He might go down today." By the way, he lost, but that's all I said. He blocked us on Twitter for 5 years. We were blocked by Andy Sterling on Twitter for that comment. So he has paper thin skin. That's the one thing I can tell you about Andy. And then he unblocked us to make a big deal out of nothing with a jerk Jay Privman and him attacked us for no reason. And I said, Andy, after 5 years, you unblock us for this? I'm just glad I can see your tweets again. Because the two old guys were wanting to get after us, and that didn't work. It didn't work. And then Jay Privman tried to get Magic kicked out of the Santa Anita press box. So, yeah, that's the kind of guys those two people are. So just remember that as you're for no reason. Absolutely.
You were kind of ragging on me because I didn't like him.
No, I think Andy's okay. I think Andy plays a character. When you see Andy out at night, when you see Andy out at Saratoga, and he seems like a normal guy. I think he plays a character on Twitter.
You're probably absolutely right. You're probably right. Yeah, I can see that. He's part of a show, and that's his role. Now I don't get this one. Explain this one to me.
Okay, Waylon says, by the way, 52 minutes in, this is the best show we've ever done. All right. Is Jonathan Kitchen the Bob Baffert of handicapping contest? You don't know what happened with Jonathan?
I saw he got in trouble, but I don't. Was he cheating? I mean, how do you?
No, I wouldn't call it cheating. Okay, so
explain that to me. I did read something, but I didn't get into it.
Do you like Jonathan?
I do.
Okay,
I think he seems like. Come
on,
I don't know. I just watch him on TV. I think he seems like he's a nice guy.
Well, I know him personally. He's always been super nice to us. Always friendly to us. So I can't say too much bad about him because he's always been a great guy and I have respect for him. I'm not going to bash him. So, but he did something wrong, very wrong here. So what he did, he was in the NHC contest on Pegasus Week.
Right.
Pegasus Week, right. Samich was there and our boy Dr. Tang was out there. Everybody was out there. You have to be physically present and in the room making the bets. That's the rule of the contest.
Okay.
Well, he threw a fit about it. Suppose I shouldn't say threw a fit about it. He said, he got it worked out where he could, because of COVID concerns, he could be in his hotel room and he could send a runner to make the bets for him. Which that's not that big a deal, right? If that's really
wouldn't think so, no.
But that's not what he left Vegas on Friday.
Okay.
And he went to the Pegasus. And he was calling from the Pegasus to put the bet for a guy to put the bets in for him.
He was at a racetrack instead of in Vegas at a hotel.
Yes.
And he thought he could get away with that?
Exactly. Jonathan Kitchen. Everybody knows who that is. So he uses COVID as an excuse so he could go to the Pegasus and play the NHC. Well, the president of the NTRA, believe it or not, was at the Pegasus because, it is a big race, And so anyway, he sees Jonathan. He takes a picture of him. It's a big deal. And he's suspended, I think, 2 years from the NHC because of
really?
This. Yeah.
As he should be. Right?
I think so. I think if he hadn't have used that excuse of COVID and I can't leave my hotel room, maybe not, but that's over the top because that's lying, trying to make special. Yeah, he lied. He tried to make special circumstances, and then he went anyway.
That's a lie. He should be suspended.
Yeah, I think so. So, and again,
2 years, that's quite a bit.
And I saw Vic Stauffer. he tweeted out that he skipped the NHC because of COVID concerns. He didn't want to be in that room. There's 400 people in a room. Okay. So it is concerning. If you have health problems, if you're scared of it, it is concerning for the NHC. But Samich came home and he goes, I just pray I don't have COVID, So anyway,
Exactly.
So Vic didn't go. Vic said, no, I'm not going. And to qualify for the NHC and not go, that's
and he usually goes.
Yeah, he usually goes, and that's tough. That's a blow, so to speak. That's hard to say no to.
Mm-hmm.
Vic hears that they made this exemption for Jonathan to stay in the hotel room. Mm-hmm. Apparently, Vic asked for something similar and was not accommodated, supposedly. Mm-hmm. So he was very upset as well, and I think he deserves to be. So
I do too.
Yeah. Coach says a good handicapper doesn't follow the rules, had to be on site. Yeah, and he thought Pegasus was more important. And I get it. I get wanting to go to the Pegasus. His girlfriend was at the Pegasus. She owns, or her family owns, I don't know if she owns all of it, a big time restaurant up at Saratoga. And they had like a catering thing in the rich section there. So I think that was a part of it too. Yeah.
Yeah, but the other 400 people showed up and did what they were supposed to do. Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Kinchin is also part of the rules committee for the NTRA contest. I did not know that. That's hilarious. But Dennis is right. Baffert gets 90 days and Kinchin gets 2 years. That doesn't.
I agree. That's too many years. I mean, I'd say 6 months, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Gamblers screwed again. And then coaches, if it was you, it'd be for life. The suspension, probably. Yeah. Most people, let's see, that's not true. Some people within the industry, and I think that's where Andy and Jay really come in, they do not like us because we're not the old guard.
Sure.
We weren't born into this. We're kind of new blood.
Sure.
And I think they have a problem with it. And most people really like us, but the older crotchety people like that,
that's the way it is in any profession. It's horse racing, coaching, teaching, it's anything.
Yeah.
It really is.
No, you're right. And like I said, it's so one-sided. They have problems with us, and I don't care about you guys at all. Like, I don't know what, like, even when they try to call us out for this and that, it's like, I don't care if you like us or not.
Well, it's like they can have an opinion, but you can't.
No, exactly. And it's funny, when it was over, the Jay Privman thing, I'm just telling all the secrets today, guys. You're getting all the inside information. Battle of Midway.
By the way, we're 35 minutes into this.
I know. Well,
which is fine. I'm just the time has flown by.
I know. This has been good. This has been therapeutic. This has been a very therapeutic session.
You're getting it out there, I'll tell you.
Battle of Midway, a horse that retired and went to stud. Well, he couldn't impregnate anybody. He had they covered 200 mares and 2 of them got pregnant. So
shooting blanks.
Yes, exactly. So they brought him back in training. And hand to God, Justin Zayat texted Jared and said, Battle of Midway is back in training. And so Jared tweeted out, breaking news, Battle of Midway back in training. Well, supposedly, Jay Privman had the exclusive story on this. And he wrote it for the DRF, and he was the only one that knew about this, even though we knew about it. And Jared did not. We didn't write an article. We didn't do a video. We didn't do anything. Jared sent one tweet, said, breaking news, Battle of Midway back in training. And because we did that and we didn't credit Jay Privman, who we didn't even hear it from, by the way.
Yeah.
Jay Privman tried to get Magic kicked out of San Antonio Press Box for us stealing Jay Privman's information with no credit. By the way, it's a tweet. We didn't write an article. We didn't do anything. We had one tweet from a source that not him that we heard about. And also him and Andy Serling attacked us for a whole day on Twitter about how we're unprofessional and we're terrible for the game and we're liars, cheaters, and scum.
When it was fact.
When it was not he didn't even inform us of what happened. And we sent out one tweet.
You tweeted a fact.
Exactly.
You're not a liar. You tweeted a fact.
I know. So that's what started all that. Yeah.
See, I knew these guys weren't any good. I told you.
Well, it was just one of those. It's just like I don't know. And I tweeted back. I said, I don't. I swear to God, I don't know what your problem. Like, I don't know what we did wrong. And he was like, "You need to be better, and you really have made me mad. If you are too dumb to know what you've done." Got a text from somebody in the industry and sent a tweet. I don't know how he did anything wrong. And then the next week, when Magic went to Santa Anita, he was called into the office in the press box and warned. So
they're just trying to intimidate you. That's all they're doing.
Yeah, it seems like this was Battle Midway. Hell, he's been dead 3 years now. I guess he's
been dead. He's been dead as long as the Battle of Midway.
Yeah, it's been a while. So it's just crazy. The other thing is, even if we saw his article and then tweeted that out, it's still, is it like ethical? No, but it's not illegal. It's not like we did anything like criminal, It's just like, if we saw it from him, we should. But his just assumption of we know nothing unless we read the DRF is hysterical to me.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what happened and that's why I still don't dislike those guys, but I don't. It's just like, whatever. I know a lot on him that I can't say on the air either, legally, not from me, from other people. So anyway, we'll leave it at that. All right, we've done an hour, Papa Dude. Is there anything else you want to talk about tonight?
Let's quickly just run down the highlights of the weekend.
Okay.
And if you would, you probably don't have anything to put up where I can. If I have to do this from memory, I don't know whether I can do it. Can you put the top 25 or whatever? Can you put anything up?
All right, hold on. Let's see.
I don't know if anybody even cares, but
let's see.
We are getting down to the nitty gritty now.
You're
just put that up and let's just run down through those.
All right. Well, to tell you what are the 3 big time games that you want to? Okay, I know the first one. Auburn got beat at Florida. You were tweeting. You think Auburn has a terrible coach, Bruce Pearl. I agree. Talk about that.
I think he is absolutely awful. I saw him do the same thing he did at Arkansas. Stand over there, not call timeouts. He has a fantastic team. Florida played their ass off, just like Arkansas did, just like teams are going to do when you go in there and you're that highly ranked and they have talent. They're decent. They're going to play hard and just sit there and let those guys get beat. And I don't understand it. When you got players like he's got, and you don't call timeout and draw up something, and you just stand over there and let him get beat, I just don't understand it. And I think they're talented enough to win it all, but they're not going to. I don't think so. Yeah, that was one. I was very impressed with Arizona this weekend. Again, I think they're one of the best right now in the country. Scroll down there a little bit. If you would.
Arizona, my team to win it all, by the way.
Very disappointed in Kentucky on Wednesday night, I think it was, or whatever it was, when Tennessee drubbed them. So they've dropped a little bit. Kansas looks to me like they're starting to come on some. Keep going.
By the way, real quick, Louisville up 39-38 against USC. Dennis says stop the game, and coach says this NC Louisville game is good. So we got a good one.
You're watching it here in just a minute. Kansas, like I said, I think they're playing better as Baylor is too. There we go. I agree with you, Dave.
Bruce Pearl out in the first round, says Dave, and
I think he's a great recruiter, obviously.
Yeah,
but how's he getting those guys? Of course, I don't think anything's illegal anymore. Waylon's got a question here. Might answer that as we go. It says,
whose record is more overrated, USC or Colorado State?
Wow. I was really pissed at USC last night. They were awful. I had them as my best bet. All they had to do was cover 5.5. Lucky to win against a team that's not good.
Yeah.
So I think they're overrated. I think Colorado State is. Well, I don't know did they make the top 25 today? Does anybody know? I haven't seen it.
I haven't looked at it.
I don't think they did. I think they're tournament worthy, though. Anytime you're 22-4, and that Mountain West Conference is tough. That is a good league. So I would answer your question. I'd say USC right now. They just have times they don't play very well. So anyway,
Jason says Bruce Pearl's tactics are now legal. He's lost his advantage.
man, that is a great point, Jason. Everybody's cheating now, or it's not cheating anymore.
Yeah, they got blown out by UNLV.
You know what, though, Waylon? You're right. You're absolutely right. But UNLV is playing awfully well right now. They've been winning. It's a good point. That's a good point. Wyoming got ranked last week, and they got beat too.
Mm-hmm.
But don't underestimate the Mountain West. It's pretty good. That's a good, solid league. Baylor, easy one there over TCU.
Mm-hmm.
Duke's Duke. You know, Here's a team I think you better start looking out for is Villanova. They're playing pretty well. So impressed with Texas Tech.
Yeah, that was a huge win at Texas.
That was a big-time win. They got another one during the week against somebody pretty good. Heck, I can't remember. Those Big 12 games are all alike. That is a team, man, they're tough to play against. Here's one you stay away from. That's Michigan State. I don't know. I'm sure they'll get in the tournament. I'm not sure they're worthy. UCLA's playing well right now. Arkansas got a big win against Tennessee. What else we got? Oh, Iowa. Huge win over Ohio State. They're playing their way probably into the tournament now. I think Ohio State is vastly overrated. If they were, I don't know, Rutgers, somebody like that, they wouldn't be in the top 25. Here's my favorite team, and that's Murray State. I don't think they're that good, but guys, 26-2, they're in the tournament. If they don't win their conference tournament, they're in.
Yeah.
And if they're not in, something's wrong. So watch that down the stretch. Let's say they get into the whole Ohio Valley Conference tournament and they get beat. They're going to take up a bid of a big-time team somewhere.
No question.
Marks makes a great point. Big Ten has been a crapshoot all year because everybody's so good. Same way as the Big East. I'm telling you, there's some great teams in both those leagues. Purdue's another one. I don't know where they played Sunday. That's another team that, God, they're good.
I think they're the best Big Ten team by far.
I do too. And when they're playing, when they're on, and they're big kid. Sometimes I've seen him. He hadn't played very well. Man, he played good yesterday. Yeah, he did good. Don't forget that Rutgers team. I was doing teams on the bubble today. I wrote an article. Rutgers has got the best wins of any team that's on the bubble. Yep. I don't know if they're on the bubble. I think they are because they're Rutgers. But they have beat 5 ranked teams out of the Big Ten. I'm telling you, that should get you in.
Yeah.
If you beat the people you're supposed to down the stretch. Xavier, I think Xavier's in trouble because the Big East is so good and they keep knocking people off. And, UConn, I agree with Dennis. I think they're sneaky, pretty good. Providence played yesterday, so they're not on this list here. That's another really good team. Marquette is struggling down the stretch. The other team, it looks like they're in trouble to me, is Indiana.
Yeah, they don't look very good.
No, they're going to have to win some games to get in. A team from the Big 12 that made some strides this week was Iowa State. They won 2 games. They got the ship righted. They were lucky they got to play Oklahoma. Any team plays Oklahoma right now should win because the Sooners have pretty much had it. They don't have much talent. So, but they got 2 wins. They're now 5-9 in the conference. I looked at their schedule today. It's easier than it has been. They need to get to at least 7 conference wins, I think.
Yeah.
8 would be 8. If they get 8, they're in because that'll give them 21 wins on the season. And I think they probably should be in, but I think they still got some work to do. So guys, if you like college basketball, man, these next 2 weeks of the regular season are big time.
Big time 2 weeks coming up. And we'll have a lot of that on the Thursday show. We'll do a lot.
We'll get into it. Another shout out I want to give. We mentioned this last week. Doesn't mean anything to anybody but me and you and a few people from around here that watch. The little gal we talked about from Missouri Southern.
Yep.
They won 2 more games this week. They played their big rival twice. Haven't swept them since 2013, I think. And on Saturday, they went over to Pittsburgh State in Kansas. Have a good team, and she scored 36 points.
Yep.
Guys, I'm telling you, if you saw her, you wouldn't believe. She is the best player I've ever seen for her size.
Yeah.
She is a midget. I'm talking small. She's 5'4" and she doesn't weigh 110.
Yeah.
And never makes a mistake. 36 points. They need a 3. Boom. She gets it. They need a basket. She takes it to the hole. She either makes it or she gets fouled. I've never seen a boy, girl, whatever, control a game at that size.
And she's a freshman.
She's a freshman.
And she went on the road to Pitt State. It's Pitt State, Missouri Southern, a huge rivalry.
Yeah.
And they were struggling. They blew a big lead, and she carried them through the game. So
she's something else.
yeah, she's something. She's something to watch. She is a great player, a great Division II basketball player. So
yeah. And she's one of those, that great. When you're looking at these tournament teams down the stretch, make sure you look and see, do they have a player that can get you a bucket when you got to have it? Because that's the key. You got to have go-to guys.
Is she better than the Cavender twins? I don't know who that is. Do you know
Tell us who that is, Waylon. I'm sure she's not, because I'm telling you, she's at D2.
Yeah.
I mean, if she was 5'9", I'm serious. If she was 5'9", 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", she'd be playing at UConn,
oh yeah,
South Carolina,
yeah,
or Baylor, or anywhere, and she'd be a professional player. There's no doubt about it.
She could probably play for the bigger schools in D1, the smaller D1 schools. I should say. Like a Missouri State right up the road could probably play there.
Well, evidently they didn't think she could. Missouri State's good.
Yeah.
So, what? I'm not going to say it. But anyway, Missouri State lost a game they had to win again.
Yeah.
Down in our neck of the woods, they'll be crying because they don't get in the tournament. They never win the game they have to win. So anyway,
they can't ever win their tournament, and that's the key to getting into the tournament. That's from the Missouri Valley. Win the tournament. Final thing we'll talk about in NBA All-Star Game. Dennis says, "What were your thoughts on the game, the defense, the dunk contest, all of that?" I didn't watch a second of this, so
I'm 0 for 3 in all 3 sports All-Star games.
You didn't watch any of them?
I did not watch 1 second of whatever that they call that NFL fiasco. 1 second of the NHL, 1 second of the dunk contest, 1 second of the NBA. And I'm surprised you didn't see this, Dennis. I tweeted out, I just got finished painting the bathroom, and the Pro Bowl, the NHL All-Star Game, and the NBA game, I had 0 minutes. Watching paint dry, I had 15 to 20. That's how. No, I'm not watching it.
No, I didn't either. No, I didn't either. Somebody was tweeting about it, and I thought, gosh, guys, you gotta get a life. Like, I'm not.
Why would anybody play defense in these games? Why? Why would you do that?
I don't know. I
mean, you're just out there having fun, and that's fine. There's no law against that. Those guys, I'm assuming. I saw the score this morning.
Yeah,
I think I predicted it the other day, 176 to 162.
You were close.
I was, because that's the way it always is.
Yeah.
Now, are those guys fantastic? Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Yeah.
Well, I've always said I had a different appreciation for NBA basketball players when I went and saw them live. TV gets a little boring when it's not the playoffs, but I saw them live. It's like, they make it look easy. That's why it gets boring on television sometimes.
So it's not East-West anymore?
No, it was Team LeBron versus Team Durant. Maybe they draft him.
They draft him, but Team Durant didn't have Durant.
Oh, really? Was he hurt or something? I don't know.
He's been hurt for like 4 weeks.
Well, I thought he was in the All-Star game, though. His Team Durant, I thought he played.
Oh, I see. That's why the Nets are playing so bad.
Well, I know
Look
that.
Look at this. Montreal 3, Toronto nothing.
That's unbelievable. Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, as far as talent, and I'll tell you another thing. We took our basketball team down to Oklahoma City to watch the Thunder, and we got there really early because the Thunder what an organization. They're so nice to us. They let us anyway. So we got down there real early where we could get right down on the floor. And I was so impressed at these stars and how they work at their game.
Yeah.
An hour and a half before the game out there just doing little layup type stuff, just little fundamental things that you'd think they never would do, but they do.
And I tell you, I took my nephew. It was right before COVID. We went, and it's when the Thunder had Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Chris Paul, this guy's
What
played for however long, was out there doing exactly what you're talking about. He'd shoot a little layup from the left, and he'd shoot from the right, and then he'd move out 2 feet. He'd move out 2 feet. He went all around the court. Then he shot free throws. Then it was just like, wow, it's unbelievable. Yeah. And we got there really early because he had never been, and I wanted to show him.
He needed to see that.
Yeah, and it's like, and there's Chris. We walk in, and our seats are kind of, they're not like front row, but they're in the lower section, and they're right by the tunnel where we run out. And so Chris Paul's out there shooting, and here comes, Adams walking out the tunnel, and he's like, holy cow, they're already out here. I was like, yeah, this is unbelievable. So yeah, they all were out there. I can't remember the big guy they had. They could shoot threes. I can't remember his name now. They only had him 1 year. That bothers me. They went through
a lot of guys.
Yeah, he was only there 1 year. Great 3-point shooter. Anyway, we counted. I bet he shot like 150 3-pointers before warming up for the game. He was just shooting and shoot all around. Is unbelievable.
I tell you another thing that impressed me. The last time I went, they were playing Dallas, and it was Dirk Nowitzki's final season. He'd already retired. Mm-hmm. Now here's a guy who's 40 years old, has been at the top. He's out there an hour and a half before the game, shooting threes, working on his game. And at that particular time, he wasn't playing 15, 20 minutes a game.
Right. Yeah.
And there he was. And that's just, that's why those guys are the way they are.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they are at the elite level. You have to have talent. Absolutely. But you have to work. You have to go to work.
You do. So. And they do. So
they definitely do. Yeah, they definitely do. Final question. Who performed better on the ice, Jamaican bobsled team or the men's U.S. hockey? Waylon, I'm still not over it.
Waylon, you're talking to he that bothered him.
I didn't sleep that night. I really didn't. I had COVID. That was part of the reason I couldn't get comfortable. The other part is I was mad. It helped that Slovakia only got beat 2-0 to the team that won the gold, and then came back and won bronze. Finland won. Yeah, Finland was the best team all tournament. So,
after we lost that game, were we out? That was it. We didn't play again after that. Okay.
And that's the killer. We blew the game. We were up with 40 seconds to go. Gave in a goal. And then we had a breakaway at the end of the damn overtime and didn't score. And then our goalie played great in a shootout. We couldn't score. And it was just sickening because I thought we were going to medal. I really did this year. I thought, they're going to get at least a bronze. It didn't happen. So whatever. Yep. Thanks for bringing it up, Waylon. I just got over it. Now I'm going to be upset again. So, no, I wasn't.
I guess we got to go to the Jamaican bobsled team then.
Yeah, we'll go Jamaican bobsled. They did win the gold. No, they didn't win. Their sled broke. They didn't win. We were better. We made the quarterfinals. Their sled broke, Waylon. Come on.
Dave asked, does Syracuse get in if they perform well in the conference tournament? I don't think so this year because the ACC is not very good.
We just lost a viewer. Ricky Pasternak just turned off the computer. He threw it up against his mom's ceiling.
Well, here's the thing: if they win like their last 4 games and then win a couple in the tournament, maybe. But the kicker is the ACC is not that good.
I wouldn't even listen. R.I.P. John Candy. Jamaican bobsled will never be the same.
Mark, it's a little late tonight.
I know. Sylvan, it's fine. I no worries whatsoever. I was sick for 2.5, 3 days. I've been fine ever since. No big deal.
Well, I'll be surprised if I don't get it because I was in the hospital for 3 days, although everybody had masks on. But
it could be this strand is not as bad, but I've had it twice now, and the first time it sucked. it was 10 days of not feeling very good, and then another 5 or 10 days of still being tired, and then another 5 or 10 days before I got my taste and smell back. This had a cold for 2-3 days, and I was fine. So I don't know.
So have you got your strength back pretty good?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I never really didn't. I always had strength. It was literally just I would have a headache and it kind of stopped up, feel like you have a cold, and then if you didn't take Advil, you might start getting a little bit of a fever.
So this was this time.
Yeah, this time.
The first time though, you had trouble getting your
It
strength
was
back.
bad.
Right?
Yeah, it was a month before I felt normal.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. That was the kicker. The worst for me was I couldn't do any. I didn't feel that bad. I just had no motivation to move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have 3 shots, and I don't know. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe the vaccine kind of lessened the symptoms, so that could be. But
Could be.
whatever it was, I'll keep trying to, I'm gonna try to not get it again. I really don't want it a third time. So the worst part is I'm very lucky. I've got a great setup down here. You can see in the background that my wife looks like she's trying to get a movie ready for us. So but yeah, I've got a good setup, and it's fine, but it's being away from each other for a week.
Yeah.
That's
the pits. That's the worst part.
and not I don't feeling like I can go get something to eat or whatever, so
Sylvian says there he works with a girl 3 months with no smell.
yeah.
It's a good thing when a girl doesn't smell.
Well, Sylvian, Heather got it, and she can smell, but she doesn't have it back fully, and that was December of 2020.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
She has it, but it's some things still no. It's
If I
gotten
had to lose one of the two, I'd rather lose the smell than the taste.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah, that was the most.
Yeah.
All right, this is it, Waylon.
This is
the
it.
last question.
This is our last one.
Aaron, would you like to see Stone Cold Steve Austin wrestle at age 57 at WrestleMania? Yes, Waylon, I would watch it. Hopefully
Yes,
he's
he would.
okay.
I thought he was
Hopefully
dead.
No, he's not dead.
Oh, it's what's his name? What's his name? I'll think of Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, he is dead. Yeah.
Okay.
2 very, very different people. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to happen. That's like, I'm sure you've heard what I've heard, Waylon, that, the Warrior, now you've got me doing it. Stone Cold coming back for WrestleMania. It's in Dallas, Texas. They've got a ton of seats they need to sell, and I think he's the only one left to do it. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if he's able to do it. So, all right. Does that make Ric Flair 97? Yes.
I tell you what, guys, you're giving me so much inspiration here. Aaron and I have been worried about July shows.
Yeah.
But maybe even June. I think we're going to just come in here and we're just going to talk shit for an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you'll love it.
It won't be much different than our regular show. So. All right. With that thought, we are going to get out of here because I got the Rebel Guide to finish up and get ready to send out to all you guys who are subscribers or who are going to buy it. Rebel Guide or the Rebel Stakes coming up Saturday at Oaklawn. We're going to talk Rebel on the Thursday show for sure. So if you like us talking about horse racing, we will be talking about the Rebel. That's the big race from our home track. Got that going on. You got Magic Mike happened earlier today. Make sure to check that out. I think they talked Derby, kind of talked about the fairgrounds debacle. Not so much the Derby prep, but every other race. And let's see. Yeah, we'll be back Thursday. Bleakers off Thursday. Magic Mike Thursday. Magic and I have some videos we're making. That sounded weird. Horse racing videos we're making. So they'll be out Tuesday, Wednesday-ish, I would say. So a lot going on the YouTube channel, like always. I hope you guys like the extended kind of content that we've been doing. We've really put a lot of effort into that. And yeah, it seems like people have enjoyed it. So, all right, there's more Papa Dude. We'll save those for Thursday, Jason. We're not doing Dumbass of the Week right now. We went too long. So
I'll find one.
Yeah, he will scour the internet.
I'm getting on that right now.
All right, that's your assignment. Find the Dumbass of the Week for Thursday. Thanks, everybody, for listening. It's a good show today, I thought. And like I said, we'll be right back here on Thursday.
This has been a presentation of RacingDudes.com, your destination for all things horse racing and sports betting. Whether you want free winners, expert insider picks, up-to-the-minute trackside weather reports, or podcasts and videos for bettors of all skill levels. Never make another wager without visiting the Racing Dudes. First,